Hello, and yes, it's the next in the line under the scrutineering in the Smash Off 2014. Today's victim is Harry Brew 69 from Idlevalleybrewery, and it's a malty barstool. There's a picture of a barstool with a turd on the top. Dark and mysterious malty ale made from Vienna malt and Hercules hops. Hercules is a German breed, 2005. It's a German breed. It's quite high alpha. I think ones I got off Harry were 17%, and he's done 5.5 kilos of Vienna malt and 17 grams of Hercules hops and boiled for 60 minutes. He's only done the one edition. So with the Vienna malt one edition, I presume this is going to be lager-ish. There's carbonation there, not a lot. There's some sediment at the bottom, so I wonder if it's bottle conditioned. So I'll go for a pour. Well, it's fizzing well. Big bubbles. Yeah, some yeast at the bottom of this, so I'm presuming it's bottle conditioned. Stop it there. Well, so much I had to stop before the yeast started coming in. It didn't cake that. It caked at the bottom quite well, but as soon as you went on the angle of the pour, it all washed off. It was quite light. Right. True amber. Light amber, true amber. A little haze. You can see it's better there. A little haze. Big carbonation bubbles streaming up. Some good carbonation there. Okay, not much head though. Head's died away. Let's go for the aroma. Malty, very malty, sweet caramel type. Similar in a way to Scusi and Norfolk Hillbilly, Clive's thing, because Vienna and Munich are very similar related. Munich's not got the self-converting power that Vienna has. They're very similar apart from the colour, but the aroma's quite similar, not as strong. It has sweetness to it, a slight caramel. Not much of a hop though. Not getting much of a hop at all. It did say it's a malty. How many? Cheers. Carbonation there. Give me that. There's no head retention at all. Very malty. Bittering is there, and it's overpowered by the malts. Carbonation. Has got that dark toastiness to it, and the bittering of the malt and the bittering, because Munich can be quite bitter as well. And Vienna has a slight bitter flavour to it, I think. With the sweetness, it's got that edge to it. The bittering's there, but it's gone, and you're left with the sweetness and the maltiness. All I'm getting is it's just malt off the. If you ever use Vienna, try a little batch. because it's very aromatic. There is a little more, I would say, spiciness to it. There's a touch of zest, but spiciness is what you get. I'm trying to think. In a way, Mitch will have that little bit of spiciness to it as well. But yeah, it's like a hot spice. Bitter in, and the sweetness comes through from the malts. The flavour doesn't linger long. More or less peppery is what I would say. Peppery, if anything. It has that pepperiness, but that bitterness isn't enough. I'm getting it, and it's gone, and the malts just are right there, they're punching their way through. The bittering's gone too quick. You're left with a malt and a little bit of spice, but mainly malt. You've mashed that quite low as well, Harry, 65. I'm expecting a bit higher mash temperature to get more body. I can guess if this is out of a keg and cold. It's very much like a Marzen, a proper Munich lager. And it wouldn't be so malty because obviously the temperature you wouldn't pick up the malty flavours. But then I think you might lose the hop flavorness to it slightly. There's a sweetness there, and then the bitterness comes in. Bit of spice, and it's gone. And right at the back end, you get a touch of hoppiness, a hop flavour. You know, you can tell you've had a hot drink. Maybe you should have chilled this one a little bit, maybe, to get the better of it, to kill off the malt a touch. But also, I'd say, is that one addition, it's not enough, and maybe add a bit of flavour hop to it, you know. If it was 17 grams, because I know it's high alpha, I think it's probably the same batch I got off you, it's 17, alpha is 17%. So there's not enough flavour of the hop there. We've got a perception of the spice, because it's got a slight peppery tang to it. The tang can be from the malt, but there is that peppery feeling in the mouth. It's not thin, but it's light bodied. The bitterness, you don't get enough at the front, and then in the aftertaste, the back end, you get a little bit of the bitterness again. And the sweetness of the malts is there all the time. Yeah, I think it's a nice pint. It's a nice ale, that's the thing. This is a weird one because that actually tastes like an ale rather than what a Vienna, I would say a Vienna special would be more of a lagery type. Has got that lager feel about it. And the malts, because Vienna's got quite a strong flavour for a malt. Yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's a good ale. I don't know if you did bottle conditioner, but there's no head retention at all. Normally add vienna to a recipe, or maybe to give it a bit of body. Head retention. This is quite funny because there isn't. I like that combination. I just like to see a little bit more on the front end bittering, and then maybe a secondary addition late in the boil to give it some aroma and flavour. But as a malty ale, as a dark malty ale, yeah, it's a nice pint. It is a nice drink. I'm judging this as I'm judging against all the other beers, and I'm judging it in the same way. So it's not sounds critical, but I'm giving it a critique on what I've done with all the other beers. So I'm not having a go because it's like Vienna and it's one of it. But I do feel, you know, a little bit more hop in the first edition. Actually, saying that, it might be nice to do a first hop, first water hop edition, because I know that Hercules has got quite the bitter in to soften it, but keep the bitterness up and give it more flavour. That might be a good one to do as an experiment, Harry. Thank you for entering, Harry. Just a shame that yeast, as I poured it, the yeast was coming away. It was quite light. It looked caked, but as soon as I got an angle onto the yeast, it's... So, yeah. I know you probably used Safal 33 lager yeast or something for that one. But, I think Jonah would say it's quite English pub ale. You know, like when you have a draft beer, even though it's carbonated, the after flavour is like a, you know, a cask conditioned beer. Like, you know, light. It doesn't taste 6.6. No way. It tastes like a 3.8 dishwater pint. It's got that aftertaste of that. So it's not a bad pint. It's, you know, it reminds me of a beer you could get from a pub and pulled beer. It's got that flavour and that feel to it. But yeah, cheers Harry again. Like I said, thank you for entering. Good one, mate. And then thanks for using a different malt and hop for everyone else to try as well. So that's review. I'm going to go away and have a little think and score on that one. I think we've only got a couple left. We're flying through these. Yes. So here's the next review. I hope you enjoy it. Carry watching the Smash Off. By the way, the Smash Off, and I'll put a link down, has its own channel, so all the reviewers, when they do upload their videos, if you go to the channel and then click playlist, each beer that was entered, all the videos reviewing it will be on that. So you can pick the one beer and it'll give you everyone's video in that playlist. So you can watch the whole playlist for that one beer. And that'll be the same for every entry. Thank you very much. Catch you next time.